And it's Gordo here from Gordo's Games, and we're back for some more content this evening. Sorry, I'm having a fight with the mic here. So we're back for some DC Dualforce content, and this is a deck that I came across somebody playing, and I built my my take on it. Most likely, it's quite similar to what they made, so the credit goes to whoever played. I can't remember the name of for the life of me, but I just like the idea of it. So it is. Let's get into it. Let's just get into it. But if you do like the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you know when this content goes live for you. All in all, let's go. Sorry, that's a slight hiccup there. It went to the wrong screen. So here we are. So I'm now going to do the profiles. I'm trying to use this deck building site for this. So I'll try and go into a little bit more detail with the cards for those who haven't played the game before. I don't believe it organises it for me, so yeah, we're going with that again. So first things first, our card leaders. We are going with Batgirl and Wonderwoman. Now, Batgirl itself has a 3 charge. Batgirl gets +3 power this turn, activate the deploy ability with a friendly recruit, so it allows us to use our deploy effects again, which is quite nice with some of these cards and the synergy we have. Wonder Woman is 2 charge and gets +4 this turn and give your recruits +1. Now, Wonder Woman is very good for, you know, like bolstering the board, give you a lot more defense, and just basically make it so your things don't just get completely sniped on the next turn. So even if you have 1/1s out, you can make it up to 1/2. So they either can't just batarang it, they'd have to double batarang it, or use something a bit more powerful, use an upgrading version, for instance. So those are the ones we've gone for, and I'll go through some of the reason for it. Here's the breakdown of where we stand with things. We only run 5 actions and 35 recruits. This is based on limited card pool, so it's not completely refined as of yet again, but if you do suggest anything or any additions to it, I'm all ears. Obviously I don't have Robins, otherwise Robins would most likely be in this list. I'm going to be completely honest, I'm missing Robin for my Batman and Aquaman deck and all those kind of fun stuff. We run 0 black cards because they're okay, but the gadgets like Batarangs now being nerfed down to a 1, it's not as relevant to having it. Putting a bandage in and things like that just don't feel as worthwhile from the tactics side unless I run Lucius Fox, and it's not looking to go into. And then for the might side of things, the 2/1 buff is nice, but we're looking to buff enough as it is anyway. And the other one is just 0/2 shield, which isn't nothing overly fantastic. It just has shield as a body, but doesn't have guard, so they can just ignore it. Basically, that's like Batcat, they just ignore it. 23 bronze, 13 silver, and 4 gold. I am missing like the Superman from the might side of things, and it's obviously a very strong gold card, which I would include here, probably over Wonder Woman, but she does have a deploy effect, so which is why she's in here. So going over from top to bottom, Iron Wildcat has a deploy given to the friendly recruit 1/1. So with Batgirl, you can potentially give something at +2, which is quite a big buff and allows us to do a lot of aggression. If you have the Wonder Woman trigger on there as well, so you can give them a +2, +3 technically. So Wildcat's a very good card. Steve Trevor, this is probably one of my favourite parts to it, is like if you go Steve Trevor trigger on the Batgirl, charge up to 3, Wonder Woman's at 1, you then use the Batgirl effect to trigger Steve Trevor to then trigger the Wonder Woman, which will then give everything pluses, and you know it's quite an impressive turn when you get those things off, and depends on what your board state as well. If you manage to keep like things like a Queen Hippolsa or whatever it's called, which gives everything +1 on board, +1/+1. So generally Steve Trevor is a must. I think in any might deck Steve Trevor is a must. It's just charging leader is just a very strong aspect of the game. Wonder Woman, aura and deploy give adjacent might characters +2/+2. So it's not fantastic because we don't always have might characters around it, but when we do, it's okay. And it's a deploy, so we can trigger it again if needed. We're in 1 of Speedy. It has a deploy create a trick arrow, so it does give us a little bit of maneuverability to remove bodies by using the trick arrows, but it also has speed on it, so means I can attack the turn it goes out. If I have Wonder Woman triggered, then it goes being a 3/4. If I have Speedy and a Wildcat and Batgirl, I could potentially bring out Speedy and go up to being a 5/5, which is quite impressive. I run the 1 for the time being. I just thought I'd give it a try, and it has worked out quite nicely, so it could become a 2 of. I run a 1 on Crypto. Crypto I just thinks it's just an all-round good control card. Give shield to another body. So if you need to take them out and you want to keep their board stem down, you just give But you just give something shield, swing with it, it loses its shield, but then you've taken out their bodies, which is great. One green arrow, can only have one in here, honestly, but it has ambush and deal 2 damage to an enemy recruit if they KO'd this. Repeat this. Words are hard. I'm going to be honest with you, words are hard. But yeah, so basically we deal 2, if we kill someone we get to keep repeating it. So if you manage to do this, and if you have Batgirl, you can then repeat this again, so you're technically doing 4 to things overall, which is quite a great way to clear down the smaller boards like Arkham inmates and that, when you've got all like the 3 and 1s from the whichever they are, the little jester looking things. I run 2 Bluebird. Crisis gives us some gadgets, gives them either, you know, could be grapple guns, bring back Steve Trevor to hand so we can use it again, Wildcat to back to hand, we can use the bandages, all just very useful free stuff to use, so you just can't go wrong with that. And obviously if we use the Batgirl we can deploy that again to get another resource in hand which we then use for free. Batwing, you want to kind of keep hold of those gadgets as much as you can for the turns you play down Batwing, because you can get quite impressive how much you can buff them up by. I had one game where I had 2 out and one was I think 7, 11, and the other one was about 6 and 8. Obviously one of them was skewed by the tear gas on one of them, so I run 2 Queen Haltia, which is deploy, give your other recruits +1/+1. So this just allows us to build up that board state, and this is one of your key targets when you use the Batgirl, just to try and +1/+1 everything all over again, so you can keep that pressing board. Commissioner Gordon, again, deploy, summon a squad car which has speed, which is great for oppressive plays. It has evade itself, so it's likely to survive at least 1 attack, but you can Batgirl this, deploy another squad car, so which is always great. Truth and Justice is just good to keep your leaders at a point where they can attack, as well as giving everything else a +2 as well. I generally just like this because it gives my leaders a constant +2 which I can attack every turn with, so it's just very oppressive. Superman Robot, just good defense, shield and guard. Shield basically takes 1 hit for you, guard means they have to hit it if it's on the front line. Same principle, guard, if you put this on the front line they have to hit it, and it's a 5/6 stat line, so which does mean that if we keep buffing it up, it's a lot for them to deal with and they have to focus on it, whilst you can try and chip away with everything else. This is kind of like your turn 1. It's in here as a one-off, but realistically, you know, if you're going first, throw this down. If it survives, great. It gives you a Superman which is 6/6 and has shield. It comes in exhaust the turn after, but you know, if it does survive to get into the Superman, it's a 6/6 to deal with on turn 2, which is quite a bit. Blue Devil, again, this is one of your turn 1 plays. You want to get this down, see if you can generate yourself a silver so we can play into some of our bigger things like maybe a Batwing or a Queen Hippolyta, or even a Green Arrow, depending on what their board state is. If they're an aggro deck, Green Arrow would be great. This is no deploy, but Aura is a strong thing to stop things like Batman popping off, Green Arrow popping off on you, because the amount of damage, and also things like Joker in there, just absorbs one of those hits. Wing Tech Engineer, just further gadgets, the 1/3 stat line. Again, if you get this turn 1, play it down, you can just cycle yourself with the gadget, which is great for later on. Question, draw a card. Again, another great target for Batgirl, just to cycle cards. We want to see as many of our pieces as we can in hand, so this is always great. And it has Hunter, so it can swing over things as well. Have a bullet. Deal 1 damage is a bit lackluster, but realistically, if you really need to, you can use Batgirl's effect on this to then trigger further damage. Mr. Miracle, just a general good stat line. 5/8, it's got Aura and Evade, so it means it's not, they can't just use an option to get rid of it. And if they swing into it, they're gonna have to do it twice, and it's not 8 stats, so it's pretty overall just good stat line. Bat Cycle, charge a friendly leader, and give them Evade and draw a card. All around good card. We want to try and get our leaders charged up as often as we can so we can start abusing their effects. Arkham Guard in here for just the facility of guard. If they do have an anti-artillery leader, you get +1/+1. It has a deploy. You rarely will use it for that, but you can do it if you need to. Nightmare Nurse is just good for sustainability. If you want to just keep getting life back after you've just cleared up some of the board. Generally a good card. Include it as a 1-off for the time being. This could be one of those like cut for Robin, along with possibly Speedy. Maybe it still gets cut down by 1. Or actually, the Bat Cycle probably. The Bat Cycle and Nightmare Nurse will probably be like cuts for Robins if you have them. Remonstilla Stone, deploy, heal 5 damage from a friendly character. It's a supplement version of Nightmare Nurse where this is continuous at the end, so it has to survive. This is only a 1-3 stat line, but deploy, heal 5. You have Batgirl, you can heal 10. That's quite a decent amount of healing, especially if you run it with the bandages. If you do cycle a few bandages from your gadgets and that as well, always good. Keeps you in the game longer. Utility Belt, Seeker Gadget. Plays into the Batwing plays later. If you've managed to stack enough gadgets ready for it, you can make it a pretty beastly Batwing, which they are going to have to deal with. Otherwise, you're going to run through them. Oh, sorry. Misfit. I don't have Detective Chimp. Otherwise, that would be one of the probably one I put in place of this. But Evade and Hunter. It's a 3-1, so they can batarang it out of the way, yes, but they can't just swing into it. So if you're not playing Batman, or if you're not playing something where they have a deal 1 damage, they have to hit it twice. Is the logic to this card. I will have 10th Metal. If this really is a filler card at the moment. I couldn't think of what else I needed in the deck. Probably. No, I still can't think of what I need in the deck. But I do like it on the odd occasions. If I do go for a turn, I can throw this down and I can generate a gold. I can then play out a Mr. Miracle or Truth to Justice, or even a Wonder Woman, which is quite impressive. 10th Metal is a great ramp card. But that is the deck itself. Let me know your thoughts. If you do try it out yourself, leave me a comment how you got on with it. Following from this video, you will see some gameplay with it, and I will be doing the commentary over this time after our previous video. I'm trying to take on as much feedback as possible and try and make this as detailed as possible. Any questions, drop me a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But let's go over to the gameplay.
May the gods grant us their favor.